Yeah, hello viewers, good afternoon. I believe we are all fine, and I believe by grace everybody is doing well. Yeah, I welcome everyone to my vlog today. I usually don't do vlogs, but um, it's time I have to do one because there are certain things I'm hearing, and some of them actually are not true, and I want to clear the air over all those things because um, tarnishing other people's names and tarnishing other people's properties isn't good at all. And this is why I am here this afternoon. If you are watching me for the first time, yeah, this is Free TV. We are in Ghana, and we are into inspirational videos, we are into news, we are into comedy, anything entertainment. That is what we are actually into. So if this is the first time you are watching us or watching me on this vlog, I would implore you to subscribe to my channel, and then after clicking the subscribe you see a little bell over there. I would like it, and I would be very happy if you would press that bell for me, so that anytime there's an update on this channel you would actually have to get yours as well. So without much ado, I would say that subscribe to the channel, like this vlog, comment over it, and I promise you that if you are able to comment on it, I would also reply your comments, and we would all have to interact with each other. So let us help each other grow on YouTube, and it's the biggest platform anyone can ever get. So we would have to help each other so that it will grow, and then we all grow together. Yeah, lately, so like I was saying, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, comment on the video, and then I'll be very grateful for that. Well, my name is Raphael once again, and I welcome you to my vlog on Free TV. Recently there have been certain videos about Nigerians being deported from the UAE, Africans being deported from the UAE, and a whole lot of stuff. I've been following it silently, and it's time I also talk about it, because certain people are misleading certain people about this issue. Well, I was in UAE Dubai last year. I was there from I think July till May. Yes, there was a very big event over there called Dubai Expo. I was working at Dubai Expo, and I saw a whole lot of things go on there, and I am a witness to certain things. When it comes to living in the UAE in general, I also have a glimpse of it, or I have an idea about it, and this is why I am here to clear the air over certain things. There was this video that was showing Nigerians coming from Dubai, Ghanaians coming from Dubai, and all that stuff, and then the guy was saying that UAE hates Africans and all that. Well, it is a fact that normally the people who are white skinned, or these Asians and stuff, normally don't like Africans. That is what we all believe, that they don't like Africans. Yes, it is true they don't like Africans, but there is more to it than we can see, because I was there, I was working in Expo. I actually met a lot of good people, a lot of good Emiratis, a lot of good people who treated us good, especially their police. Their police force, they were very nice people to us in the UAE, because I was working in their pantry. So I know what I'm talking about. They are very hospitable people, they are very good people, very patient with you. Even if you are at fault, they are very patient with you. I quite remember one time when I had an issue with one guy, and the police had to come in to settle the issue, and the guy was a Sierra Leonean, and the way they handled the issue, after that they had to help me get to work on time. It was very nice of them, it was very good of them. But I can say this, that UAE does not hate Africans. Let me take it again. UAE, which is the United Arab Emirates, does not hate Africans. If they hate Africans, first of all, they wouldn't allow us to enter into their country. They don't hate us. I have seen Africans who are policemen in the UAE. He's an African, a black man, but he's a police officer. As to how he got into that office, I don't know, I cannot tell. But I have seen Africans who are police officers there. I've seen Africans holding high offices there in the UAE. And so I don't see why the UAE hates Africans. But we Africans are the same devils of ourselves. Let me say like that. That we are our own devils. We are our own witches and wizards. Now let's take it for instance. Someone has his country. He has put in place measures to make sure that there is peace, order and tranquility in the country. Then an African who is in the country will pick up his fellow African that there is a lot of work in Dubai, there are a lot of jobs in the UAE, so they should come to the UAE. UAE is better than Africa and a whole lot. These people get convinced. They pay huge amounts of money to these agents, and then the agents bring them into the UAE. On getting to the UAE, I've seen a lot of these things. You see a lot of stranded people at the airports, sleeping outside the airport, waiting for their agents. Some can be there for about 3 days, 1 week and all that. I usually go to the airport, so I know what I'm talking about. I usually bring certain people from Africa into UAE, and I go and pick them up from the airport. So I see a lot of these cases. One time there was this guy, he heard me speaking our native language with the person I was going to pick, so he decided to approach me, and he's been at the airport for about a week, and his agent has not showed up to pick him up. This person is not going back home, so this person will find a place to sleep outside on the streets of UAE. Meanwhile, UAE doesn't like it to see people sleeping on the streets. So at the end of the day, you are tarnishing the image of this country by sleeping on the streets. Therefore, they would have to clear you from the place. Now, come to think of it, after bringing this person from his or her country to UAE, this agent refuses to pick him or her up from the airport. This person will have to sleep outside. Another agent will come in and try helping the person. This very agent will also take money from this person and get lost. That agent will just vanish into thin air in the name of, I'll get you a place to sleep, I'll get you a good job to do, you have to attend this interview, and this is my agency fee, this is my service charge. They charge a whole lot of huge amounts, and then they abandon the people. Then you realize that this person will move from the airport to a place called Union in the UAE. If you reach Union in the UAE in the night, you would be very, very, very sad, especially during the winter. It doesn't snow in the UAE, but it's very cold when it comes to winter. During this September, October, November, December, it's very cold in the UAE, and you see these people sleeping on the grass at the train station in Union. Sometimes it's very disgusting. And you wouldn't see any Emirati there. You wouldn't see any Indian sleeping on the street. You wouldn't see any Pakistani sleeping on the street. You wouldn't see any Nepalese sleeping on the street. You wouldn't see any Bangla sleeping on the street. All the people you see sleeping on the streets of Dubai at Union train station are Africans. They usually are Ghanaians, Nigerians, Ugandans, Sierra Leoneans, Tanzanians, Malawians. Those are the kind of people you see sleeping on the streets of Dubai. Now, it doesn't speak well of the country if someone sees this thing over the internet. How would the person classify the UAE? Because of this, the UAE decides to find ways and means to rectify this problem. So if the UAE is finding ways and means to rectify this problem, it doesn't mean that the UAE hates Africans. I don't think it is a bad thing for someone to tell you to stop sleeping on the streets. I don't think it's a bad thing, because sleeping on the streets exposes you to a lot of dangers, a lot of weather conditions that are not favorable, because the UAE itself is not friendly when it comes to weather conditions. It really can get very hot and it really can get very cold. The UAE does not know that there is a moderate weather condition. If it's hot, it's hot. If it's cold, it's cold. So I don't think it's bad for someone to tell you to get off the streets. Don't sleep on the streets. I don't think it's a bad thing. So number one, Africans are the cause of their problems in the UAE. Why do you have to bring your fellow African? Why do you have to bring your fellow brother from Africa all the way to Asia and abandon him at the airport? Why do you have to bring your fellow African from Africa to Asia and then take all his or her money and then vanish into thin air in the name of finding him or her a good job to do and a place to sleep? Because of this, most agents in UAE are the cause of the problems of Africans in the UAE. Now, this person will stay in the country for a very long time, and then if the visa is 1 month, after 1 month without a job, this person would enter into overstay, which is illegal. Now, if this person enters into overstay, it has become a bad name for Africa, meaning that Africans are fond of overstaying their welcome when they travel. Now, when this person gets into overstay and he goes deep into it, finding a job becomes difficult, because if an employer would have to employ you, that person would have to clear your overstay fines. After that, that person will have to get you an employment visa before he or she can work with you. So if somebody wants to work with you and you have an overstay fine of about, let's say, 20,000 dirhams, 10,000 dirhams, 30,000 dirhams and all that stuff, how is that person going to employ you? Because if that person is going to employ you, that person will have to pay off that 30,000 and then get you an employment visa before you can start working. Aside that, you will have to go for medicals. That person is going to give you accommodation and all that. So at the end of the day, these people enter into overstay. They cannot come back to Africa unless they pay their fines, and they cannot get good jobs to do in the UAE. And if you are not working, it means that you cannot pay for your rents. You cannot get good food to eat. You cannot cater for yourself. Therefore, you have to sleep on the streets. So if you have to sleep on the streets of UAE, which is caused by your fellow brother who is an African, and UAE is trying to rectify this problem, I don't think the UAE hates Africans like people are saying. Because if they hate you, they wouldn't allow you into their country in the first place. So please, Let us clear this thing. UAE does not hate Africans. Secondly, when you get into the UAE, almost all the fraudulent activities, I wouldn't say all, because I know certain Indians who are also scammers, who are also fraudsters, who do job fraud. So I wouldn't say that Africans are the sole doers of crime in the UAE or fraud in the UAE. Because I know certain Indians who will tell you they will give you driver's license at a very good cost, they will take your money, you won't see them again. I know some of them who would even set up an office and grant interviews. You go to the interview, they take your particulars, they take your passports and all that, and then they vanish into thin air. And the next time you get to the office, they are not there. They are nowhere to be found. So I wouldn't say that it is only Africans who are into crime. But majority of the crimes in the UAE is coming from Africans. Yes, majority is coming from Africans. Let's take it one by one. Like I said, when it comes to fraud, you see your fellow Ghanaian, you see your fellow Nigerian, you see your fellow Ugandan and all that, scamming his fellow brother to get him or her a job. At the end of the day, this person vanishes into thin air. You don't see him again. Now, when it comes to alcoholism, selling alcohol, you will still see Africans. And majority of these Africans are Nigerians. I don't mean any harm, and I don't mean to tarnish anybody's image, but I'm telling you the real truth, the gospel truth. If 10 people are placed in a line for selling alcohol in the UAE, 7 or 8 of them are Nigerians. So in the UAE, Nigerians find it very difficult to find jobs because of misconduct. Most of the people selling alcohol in the UAE are Nigerians. They enter into the UAE, and because I don't blame them anyways, I don't blame them because they find it very difficult to get jobs because of the misconduct of certain brothers of theirs who came into the UAE before them, and then they tarnished the image of Nigerians. So it's very difficult finding a job in the UAE as a Nigerian, no matter how qualified you are, no matter how good your qualifications are, no matter how good your CV looks. It is very difficult for a Nigerian to get a job in the UAE. I quite remember one time when I was out job hunting with some guys, and then they kind of granted us interviews, but there was this Nigerian guy who was rejected just because of his nationality, because he was qualified, but because of his nationality he was even picked, but because of his passport, he was asked for his passport, and then when he gave the passport and they realized that he was a Nigerian, they decided not to employ him. So I don't blame Nigerians much on this issue, because it is very difficult for Nigerians to get very good jobs or to get jobs in the UAE. It is very difficult. So these people resort to selling alcohol at isolated places. Now, a place like Jebel Ali, when you get to Jebel Ali, you see these Nigerians selling alcohol there. You see Ugandans, you see Ghanaians selling alcohol over there. You see police chasing them here and there because of the alcohol they are selling. Now, we all know very well that it is illegal in that country to sell alcohol. it is very illegal to sell alcohol in the UAE or to drink alcohol without a license in the UAE. But you see our fellow Africans selling alcohol without license, drinking alcohol without license, and police keeps chasing them here and there for selling alcohol or for drinking alcohol. Now, it is my country. Let's say I'm an Emirati. It is my country, and I have laid down rules for my country. One of the laid down rules for my country is that I don't want alcoholism in my country. If you would want to take alcohol in my country, then you would have to take a license from me. Let me be aware that you want to sell alcohol in my country. But here is the case: they sell the alcohol illegally, they drink the alcohol illegally, and by so doing, when police comes after you and then you are arrested and you are deported, I don't think this is hate, because they have laid down rules and regulations for their country. They have rules of conduct. Don't drink alcohol without license. Don't sell alcohol without license. So why do you sell alcohol without license in another person's country? So if this person arrests you and tells you that these are my laid down rules, you have flouted them, you have defaulted, because of this I am deporting you, I don't think this is hate. No, it is not. I am an African. My fellow brothers and sisters pay huge amounts of money to travel into the UAE. So if they are not able to regain what they spent to enter the UAE and they are deported, I know how it feels like. I am not saying all the people or all the Nigerians in the UAE are bad people. No, I know Nigerians who are in high places in office, who are doing good jobs. I know Nigerians who are very calm, law-abiding in the UAE, but majority don't do the right thing in the UAE. And because of this, people tag the UAE with hate for Africans, but it is not like that. For all you know, the UAE is being developed. When it comes to manpower, most of the manpower UAE is using is coming from Africa. Most. Because you hardly see an Emirati working in the construction field, working in the free zones, working in the doing this kaliwali jobs, restaurant jobs, housekeeping jobs, car wash, those kind of jobs. You wouldn't see an Emirati doing those kind of jobs. So majority of the development going on in the UAE is coming from Africans, because most of those jobs are done by Africans. I am not happy with the UAE deporting our fellow brothers who are Nigerians. But here is the case: they are also not abiding by the laws of the country. You are a guest in the country. That is not where you are coming from. That is not your native country. So you would have to live according to their rules and regulations. I am not exposing my fellow Africans, but truth needs to be told. Now, let's talk about another thing. When it comes to prostitution, prostitution is illegal in the UAE. Even in Africa, there are certain countries that do not legalize or do not accept prostitution as a legal job for people to do. We all know that prostitution brings a lot of things. Prostitution brings a lot of diseases. Prostitution leads to armed robberies and all that, serial killings and all that. But when you enter into the UAE, you will see Filipinos doing prostitution, yes. You will see Nepalese doing prostitution, yes. You will see Indian women doing prostitution, yes. But they do it at a certain level. You won't see them standing on the streets. What they normally do is they print certain cards, and then during the night they throw the cards onto the streets. So you pick the card on the street, you call her, you book an appointment with her, you meet her inside her room, and then you do whatever you want to do. But get to Dera, around Union area there, around Union area, Dera, Fridge Morale, those kind of places. You would see Africans doing prostitution in broad daylight. Broad daylight. Not even in the night. Broad daylight. You will meet our fellow Ugandans. You will meet our fellow Ghanaians. You will meet our fellow Nigerians doing prostitution on the streets of Dera. Doing prostitution in Jebel Ali. Doing prostitution in Satwa, doing prostitution in Alain, doing prostitution in Ras Al Khaimah, and all these Emiratis. You see them doing prostitution in broad daylight. Come to think of it, even here, even in Africa, prostitutes are always being chased around by police because it is regarded as an illegal job to do. Even in Africa. But here is the case. You will see Africans in another man's country, in a country where it has been clearly stated by the judiciary that prostitution is not accepted over there. You would meet our brothers and sisters doing prostitution there in broad daylight. You get to Dera and they rush to you like you owe them some money. Now, the UAE government is seeing all these things. They don't even talk. Now, when you go to most of these Arabian countries, or when you go to most of these Islamic countries, if you are caught doing prostitution, you are prosecuted, and then you are executed, you are killed, you are beheaded. They execute you. They either behead you or they stone you to death. If you go and do prostitution in Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia does not entertain this nonsense. Saudi Arabia will behead you or stone you if you are caught doing prostitution. But in Dubai, they do it on the streets freely. My African sisters, they do prostitution on the streets freely, without fear or regret. So if the government of UAE decides to deport Africans, like I said, I am not happy that my fellow Africans spend money to travel to the UAE and then they are not able to retrieve what they spent and then they are deported. But if you are in this kind of character, this misdemeanor, and you are deported, I don't see why you should complain that the UAE hates Africans. No. Other countries in Europe also deport Africans. When you go to Europe and you misbehave, you'll be deported. When you go to these Southern American countries and then you misbehave, you'll be deported. There is nowhere in this world that you will travel to where you would misbehave and you are left to go scot-free. You'll be deported. So what makes UAE's deportation exceptional from all the other countries? I hate it when I hear that UAE hates Africans. Finding a job in UAE has become very difficult for Africans because of our fellow Africans who are misbehaving in the UAE. Truth needs to be told. Our fellow brothers who are Nigerians, you are very good people. You are our brothers. But please, I would send a plea to you to advise our brothers who are in the UAE, who are doing all sorts of bad things to tarnish the name of Africa, to tarnish the image of Africa. That is making finding a job in the UAE very difficult for Africans. Sierra Leoneans, Nigerians, they are creating a lot of problem in the UAE. Hence, the UAE is deporting a lot of Africans. Come to think of it, in my company where I was working at first at Expo, we had issues with the company. The workers had issues with the company, and even at the company accommodation, if there is any commotion in the accommodation, you enter there and you realize it is Sierra Leoneans creating the commotion. If you enter in, I remember once when there was an issue there about gayism. Two Sierra Leonean guys were into gayism, and they were sleeping with each other in the company room, in the company accommodation. Two guys sleeping with each other in company accommodation, in a room which accommodates 5 people. And then 2 people were doing gayism in the room. You wouldn't find an Emirati doing gayism. It is these same Africans you would see doing gayism, doing all sorts of bad things. At the end of the day, these Sierra Leoneans were deported. Come to think of it, does it mean that the UAE hates Sierra Leoneans? No. So far as you have defaulted the law and the law has taken its course, it doesn't mean that the UAE hates Africans. No. These guys were deported. There was another situation where there was a fight. A fight broke out within 2 people. They were all Sierra Leoneans over a debt that one was refusing to pay. A fight broke out, and when the camp boss tried to solve the problem between them, one of the guys intentionally took the camp boss's phone, smashed it on the ground, said all sorts of abusive words to the camp boss. He took his laptop, smashed it on the ground. So within a matter of 2-3 minutes, he had destroyed the camp boss's phone, he has destroyed his laptop. The camp boss had no other option to deport them. He had no option to call the police. He called the police came in, and according to the laws of the UAE, there should be nothing like a fight in the UAE. So if you have fought your brother in the UAE and the UAE has deported you, it doesn't mean that they hate Africans. UAE has its bad side. Yes, it has its dark side. When it comes to working in the UAE, I will touch on that in my next video. I will touch on that. But the UAE also has its bad side. But I'm talking about our brothers and sisters in the UAE who are doing bad things there, and when they get deported, they say the UAE hates them. There are certain crimes when you commit in another man's country and you are deported. Maybe in your country you would have been jailed. Maybe you would have been jailed in your country. But in the UAE, you are not jailed, you are deported. Imagine one person breaking a camp boss's phone, breaking his laptop, and at the end of the day, if this person is deported out of the UAE, this person will claim that the UAE hates Africans. They don't hate Africans. But if you behave well and you have a good conduct, UAE will not deport you for anything. UAE will not deport you for anything. There are Africans who are still living in the UAE. Why are they not being deported? Because they are law abiding and they are living according to the laws of the country, so they will not be deported. So please, let us clear this thing off that the UAE hates Africans. They don't, because it is Africans they are using to develop their country. Like I said before, about 70% in the construction industry, or let's say 60% of the construction industry of the UAE is being manned by Africans, Indians, Pakistanis and Nepalese, but majority are Africans. So why would the UAE hate Africans? If we are able to put up good conduct, we are able to live according to the laws of the country UAE, I believe that the UAE will still keep Africans. I believe. So now, I first touched on prostitution. I also touched on how some of our African brothers pick their fellow African brothers and sisters and abandon them at the airports. They pick them from Africa, they bring them to UAE, and then they pick them from the airports, take the money that they brought in the name of getting them good jobs and then getting them good places to sleep, and then they vanish into thin air. Number 1, fraud. Number 2, prostitution. Number 3, alcoholism. All these things are being done by Africans in the UAE. I know a lot of Africans will bash me for this video, yes, but I don't care. Truth must be told, and truth is one. Africans are misbehaving in the UAE. This is another case. We were working in Expo, and then there was redundancy because Expo was for just 6 months, and then after Expo the company was not getting jobs for the people, and then they cannot let you be roaming the country like that without getting another job, and then you might enter into overstay. The company might be held responsible for that because you are your residency is for the company, you are living on company residency, company visa and all that. They decided to make some of us redundant. So they started sharing or distributing redundancy letters to some of us. Now, some Sierra Leoneans were lucky enough to get air tickets back home, and then they waited until the company issued them tickets to travel back to their country. Now look at what they did. We have certain WhatsApp groups that we not usually interact on with our company. We have certain WhatsApp groups we interact on with the management of our company, where we have a lot of big shots in the groups. These Sierra Leoneans started posting porn into the groups. They started posting porn into the groups, and then when they were about to leave, they started posting porn into the groups. Now come to think of it, you came to somebody's country, the person gave you a job to do, the person has been truthful with you and has informed you that there are no jobs for you, and because there is no job for you, they are not going to leave you like that. If you can change your visa and you can get another job on time before their cancellation date is up, fine, you can get a new job, come for cancellation and then go and work. But if you are not getting any job, they are ready to offer you air tickets back to your country. This person gave you the air ticket, And what my fellow African brothers from Sierra Leone could do was to start posting pornography videos into the groups that had big shots of the same people who gave them jobs to do. Okay, you have done this bad and evil thing, because in the UAE there is nothing like porn. You cannot access any pornographic website in the UAE. No way. You cannot access any pornographic website in the UAE. It is an illegal thing to access pornographic websites in the UAE. Now, you have downloaded porn videos using VPN. You have downloaded porn videos, and then you have posted it in the group where your managers who employed you are included. After doing this thing, you are gone. Do you think your fellow African who is a Sierra Leonean, or who is a Ghanaian, or who is a Ugandan or a Nigerian, if this person comes to the same company looking for a job to do after what you did, do you think that this company is going to offer that your brother a job to do? No, because you have tarnished the image of Africans in that country. You have tarnished the image of Africans in that country. Therefore, you have finished doing your evil act. You have gone back to your country, but your fellow brother is going to starve in that country because of one stupid move that you did as an African. Would you blame this too on the UAE, that they hate Africans? Okay, so after doing this your evil act, you still want a company to employ your brother after sending pornography into the group, the WhatsApp group of the company that employed you in the UAE. How can this be possible? It can never be possible. So the UAE has its own shortcomings, but if Africans are finding it difficult to get jobs in the UAE, it is the fault of their fellow brothers who went there first. It is a cause of their fellow brothers who went there first. So come to think of it, with all these points that I've brought out, can you say, or can you tell me that the UAE hates Africans? I don't think if they do, they would accept Africans and even give them visas to enter into the UAE. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. But here is the case. Some of my Nigerian brothers are saying that the UAE hates Africans because they are deporting them. Please, it is not true. It is not true. Now, recently I was hearing certain news that the UAE has banned 20 African countries and all that. Please, it is not true. I know a friend who entered Dubai just last week. He's a Ghanaian. He entered Dubai just last week. I know companies who are still recruiting people from Africa into the UAE. It is only Nigeria who has got a ban on every visa. They cannot get visa to enter into the UAE. It is only Nigeria. Apart from Nigeria, no other country, no other African country has been banned. It is only Nigeria. Please don't get it twisted. When it comes to narcotics, you will still see our African brothers selling narcotics on the streets of UAE. Even in Africa, our law does not accept the use of narcotics. our laws does not accept, our laws frown on the sale of narcotics. Our laws frown on drug abuse. And I wonder how they are able to let these narcotics enter into the UAE without being caught. For that one, I don't know. But you see our fellow Africans selling tramadol on the streets, selling narcotics on the streets. Now, if you are arrested with these kind of things, if you are busted with alcohol, you are busted with narcotics in the UAE, and the UAE decides not to jail you, but they decide to deport you, does it mean they hate you? Maybe in your country you would have served like 10 or 15 years in jail for possessing narcotics. I don't know if I'm really making sense here. Like I said, the UAE has its bad side. It also has certain things it does to Africans, which is not right. But when it comes to these issues, my brothers, let us change. Let us desist from such acts. It hurts me, it pains me so much when I go to Dera and I meet our beautiful sisters. Sometimes you see these women, you see their shapes, you see their beauty, you say, wow, this is beauty. This is a true African woman. Some of these Emiratis, some of these whites, they envy we the Africans. They really do envy us. For our color, the pigmentation of our skin, they envy us for our strength, because when it comes to strength, Africans have strength to do a lot of hard work. They envy our women for their backsides, because African women have big backsides. When it comes to big bums, African women have big bums. Their women don't have those big asses or bums. Because of that, they envy Africans. But then you will see our African sisters standing on the streets of Dera, Ras Al Khaimah, Jebel Ali, Satwa, Al Ghubeba, doing prostitution broad daylight, selling the pride of Africa to Indians, Nepalese, Bangladesh, Pakistanis. Recently there was a video that came on the internet, it was floating on the internet, where there was a fight among our Nigerian brothers, and these guys were breaking car glasses, fighting with weapons, breaking car glasses. This car was parked, and then the owner of this car was innocent of whatever was going on or was transpiring between our brothers. But our brothers decided just to destroy that property in the course of their fighting. So if the UAE arrests you over this act and you are deported, does it mean the UAE hates Africans? No. It is your attitude that has brought you deportation. Let's get this clear. It is your attitude that has brought you deportation. Please don't let us get this twisted. The UAE has opened its gates to Africans, that Africans can come into the UAE. So why do they hate us? Let's talk about theft. There was a video circulating on the internet where another Nigerian was stealing a scooter that was parked in front of somebody's shop, and he was captured by camera. So if you stole this scooter and you were arrested and deported for stealing the scooter, does it mean that the UAE hates Africans? No. It is your own attitude. Your own attitude that has brought about your deportation. Don't get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. It is our own attitudes that has made this thing to happen. Please, I am not siding with the UAE. I am not siding with the UAE. I am telling you the truth, the gospel truth about what our African brothers go and do in the UAE. Now, this is another issue. Your brother, your Nigerian brother, your Ghanaian brother will tell you that he has a job for you. For all you know, the company is doing free recruitment, free of charge. Your fellow brother here in the UAE, your fellow brother here in the UAE will come to you and tell you that he is going to give you that job at a cost. 500 dirhams, 1,000 dirhams, 1,500 dirhams. He will take the money, and if you are lucky, you will get the job. If you are not lucky, he will bolt away with your money. You won't see him again. He will bolt away with your money. You won't see him again. Why are Africans being this evil to their fellow Africans? Why are Africans being evil to their fellow Africans in the UAE? And then when the UAE takes the UAE law takes its course, Africans keep complaining that the UAE hates Africans. We don't hate Africans. They don't hate Africans. Our fellow Nigerians are very good at this thing in the UAE. What they do, they are able to take your passport, remove the picture, and then put another picture there. You can challenge me for all I care. I don't care. You can do whatever. You can take me on in any way. I don't care. So far as I am speaking the truth, nothing but the truth, I am not scared of any challenges. An African will take your passport and tell you that he is going to get you a job. After taking the passport, he will take out the picture and then put inside another picture and sell it to another African. Now, if the laws of UAE catches up with you and arrests you, they prosecute you and jail you, or they prosecute you and deport you, what shows that they hate you? It is a crime. It is a crime. It is impersonation. It is fraud. So how come the UAE hates Nigerians? Or the UAE hates Africans? There is no way. There is no way you can say that they hate Africans. You do such deeds, you are arrested, deported, and you say they hate Africans. No, please. It is not like that. It is not like that. You know your visa has expired. You need to do visa change. Even when you do your visa change, you are free. In case anything happens and the police ask you for your visa, you can just show your visa and you are good to go. Nobody will ask you anything. You are a legal expatriate. You are a legal migrant in the country. But here is the case, you know your visa has expired and it is illegal to stay in the country with an expired visa. My African brother and sister will still stay in the country without doing the visa change. And if you are caught and you are deported, you tell the whole wide world that the UAE hates Africans. You would never find an Indian entering into overstay. You will never find a Pakistani entering into overstay. You will never find a Nepali or a Bangla or a Filipino entering into overstay. No. Or even an Egyptian entering into overstay. No. You always see our fellow black African people, the Alkebulan people, doing these things. Now, coming to residency, there are a lot of people. If you say what I am saying is a lie, say it at the comment section that my brother, you are telling lies. A lot of people in the UAE are working with other people's documents. Am I telling lies? If I'm telling lies, drop it at the comment section that what I'm saying is not true. A lot of African people are working in the UAE with other people's documents, especially in Amazon. Because Amazon has this requirement that before they employ you, you need to get your own residency or your own documents. You see, my African people, my African black people, I love Africans so much because I'm an African. You see my African people using their fellow brothers and sisters' documents to work in companies like Amazon. Now, if Amazon finds out that you are using fake documents, you are using another person's documents, which by law is impersonation, which is a jailable offense, and Amazon does not decide to jail you but decides to lay you off, decides to sack you, does that mean that the UAE or Amazon hates Africans? No, they don't. They don't hate Africans. So that's my brother, that my Nigerian brother who was doing that vlog saying that the UAE hates Africans and the UAE is deporting Africans and all that. Please check these points that I've put together. Check them. I am not saying that you are wrong, and I'm not disputing what you are saying. Yes, UAE is truly deporting some Africans. UAE is deporting Africans. But what did those Africans also do? I am a witness. I've been in the UAE here for some time. and I know what I'm saying. If whatever I'm saying is a lie, in your discretion, if you think what I am saying is a lie, please put it at the comment section of this video. Let everybody know that I am telling lies. If we Africans will put up good attitudes, will put up good conduct when we travel, we are going to live in peace, absolute peace, and nobody would have to be deported. But we Africans feel like we are smart. We feel like we are sharp-minded. So we would have to beat certain things around. We would have to be smart to outwit certain things to be able to get what we want. It is not helping us, my fellow Africans. It is not helping us. Now let's come to traffic issues. My fellow brother or my fellow sister knows very well that he or she does not have to cross the street at this particular point. There is a zebra crossing. He or she will go and cross. If you are caught and you are fined, does it mean you are hated? You are being safeguarded. UAE is trying to tell you that they need your safety. They need you in one piece to be able to accomplish the mission, the reason why you came to the UAE. The UAE is concerned about your safety. So they punish you by fining you for jaywalking. Does it mean they hate you? No. Does it mean Dubai hates you? No. Does it mean that Abu Dhabi hates you? No. Does it mean that Alain hates you? No. Does it mean that Ras Al Khaimah hates you? No. They are safeguarding you. Even here in Africa, there is a rule, there is a law that you have to cross the street in a zebra crossing. But here in the UAE, you will see my fellow Africans doing jaywalking, crossing the street at the wrong places. And then when you are caught by the law and you are fined, we will say that the UAE hates Africans. It is not true. Even at the zebra crossing, we have these traffic lights. We have traffic lights for pedestrians, and then we have traffic lights for motorists. Traffic lights for pedestrians, traffic lights for motorists. But when an African gets to the traffic light, I'm not saying that those other nationalities don't do it. We are talking about Africans. That is why I'm limiting it to Africans here. An African will get to the zebra crossing and the traffic light. The pedestrian traffic light has shown red. The motorist traffic light has shown green, but no cars are passing. African black man will still cross the street when the pedestrian traffic light is still on red. So if the authorities see this and then they fine you, does it mean that they hate Africans? No, they don't. They don't hate Africans. Like I keep saying, if you feel that what I'm saying is a lie, put it at the comment section under this video. Let the whole world know that this our brother here is telling lies. Let all of them know that this our brother here is telling lies. Now, let's come to transport. Transport. In the buses, in the metro, we all know that we have to use bus card. When you enter into the metro, you need to use bus card. When you enter into the buses, you need to use bus card. Sometimes our fellow Indians, Nepalese, Bangladesh, Pakistanis and all that, they also default. They are caught and they are fined. But one thing I want you to understand is you will never see any Bangla, any Pakistani, any Indian, any Nepali complaining that they hate or the UAE hates them. It is only Africans who are always complaining that the UAE hates them. An African man will enter the bus. He knows very well that he does not have credit on his bus card. He knows very well he does not have credit on his bus card. He will still enter the bus. He will not tag his card and go and sit down. The UAE has very good systems when it comes to detecting fraud and these kind of bad things. The UAE has a lot of infrastructure to detect these things. So if the RTA stops the bus and then checks everybody in the bus, now listen to this very well, they don't pinpoint Africans at will. No. Whoever says I'm telling lies should drop it at the comment section. The RTA will not enter the bus and then pinpoint Africans at will. No. They have machines, sophisticated machines, that they use to check each and everybody's card. So this is it. When they enter into the bus, they would announce everybody should bring out his or her bus card. So everybody will bring out his or her bus card. And then they start checking by touching everybody's bus card with their machine. Now, if you are an African and you get busted by the machine, and then you are fined for not paying for your bus fare, or you are fined for entering a bus without credit on your bus card, can you tell me or tell our viewers that the UAE hates Africans? You know very well as an African man that you need to have credit on your bus card before you enter bus. You know very well. And you know very well that when you were entering the bus, you didn't have credit on your bus card. But you still boarded the bus. You knew very well that when you enter the bus, you need to tag your card. But when you entered the bus, you didn't tag your card. You just entered and you sat comfortably, thinking you can outwit the RTA and go scot-free. So if the RTA, which is the Road Transport Authority of UAE or of Dubai, if they arrest you and then they fine you for entering their bus without tagging your card, where is the hate? Whoever that RTA representative is, he or she is only doing his or her job. He or she is doing his or her job. So why would you tag that person of being a racist? Because if our brother who did that vlog, I think the name of his channel is the Talk Show. If this our brother who did that vlog is attributing their deportations to the hatred, then it means that he is accusing the UAE of racism. I am not defending the UAE. There could be cases of racism. It is skunk. It is everywhere that there are racists all around the world. But I am talking about issues that when the law takes its course, don't call it hate. It is not hate. I am in the UAE and I know what is going on. It is not hate. The law is trying to straighten us up. Now, when you are fined by the RTA, you are given your ticket. That day, you can use that ticket to go back home. You can enter any bus with that ticket that you have been fined and go back to wherever you are. Nobody will ask you for anything again, because you've already been fined. Since you've already been fined, you cannot walk home. So they would have to create a channel whereby you can get back home. So why do you say that we are being hated? Why do we say that Africans are being hated? This person has fined you. After fining you, he has provided you with something that can let you get back home. Why do you tag this person with hatred? Truth be told, this is not hatred. Whilst I was working at Expo, there was this case. Some people were sitting in the bus roaming Expo. Then an Italian left his bag containing his laptop, his power banks, and some important documents. He mistakenly left it in the bus. Then a black man, a Ghanaian to be precise, took the bag, forgetting that there are cameras in the bus. So when he took the bag and went out of the bus, the cameras in the bag in the bus captured him. He was a worker too at Expo. He was arrested and he was deported. The laptop and the bag were retrieved from him and he was deported. Where is the hate here? Which law, even in Africa, which law tells us that it is right to steal another person's property? Which law in Africa gives us the right to steal another person's property? There is no law like that. But here is the case. Here is the case that a Ghanaian stole the bag and bolted away with it. So if he was arrested and deported, where is the hit from UAE? Don't get me wrong. I am not defending the UAE. I am only telling the truth about things that Africans do in the UAE that makes them to be deported. There was another case. An iPhone 13 Pro Max got missing. And as we all know, if you steal an iPhone, it can be tracked with the Find My Device function on the iPhone or in the iPhone. And you see, when it was stolen and then the police came around, they told the people that the iPhone is within this area. Those people were Ghanaians. Please, my fellow Nigerian brothers and sisters, I am not circling the whole thing around you alone that you are evil. No. And my fellow Sierra Leonean brothers and sisters, I am not accusing you. Ugandans, I am not accusing only you. Ghanaians are people from my country. They are my kinsmen, and I'm also hitting on what they do. We are all Africans, and we are talking about Africans here. The police told them that the stolen phone is within this perimeter. Therefore, whoever has it should bring it out. The person didn't bring it out. All these people were Ghanaians. They were about 26 people. And then what happened? A search was conducted. And during the expo, those who worked in expo will bear me witness that the government provided Pepsi drinks, they provided milk, tea bags, sugar, whatever the people that were coming for the expo will need, they provided in the pantries. You can drink about 1 carton of milk. Nobody is going to question you anything. But if you put it in your bag and you are caught, you can be deported. You can be charged with theft. Now, a search was mounted, and at the end of the day, the iPhone was found, and then about 26 people who were searched, some were having coffee in their bags, some were having sugar in their bags, some were having Pepsi in their bags, some were having milk in their bags, some were having tea bags in their bags. A whole lot of stuff were stolen from Expo when that search was mounted. All these people were deported and they were taken back to Ghana. I don't want to mention the name of the company that brought them here to the UAE. I know the name of the company, but I don't want to mention it. Now, you have stolen from Expo. You've been arrested and deported. Do you think that your brother who is coming after your crime will be accepted or will be employed to work there? No! It is one person who went to do the thing, but all Africans will be tagged with it. UAE is not deporting those people because they stole coffee. How much is coffee? How much is milk? How much is sugar? How much is tea bag? But they deported them because of theft, not because of the item they stole. Because the item is not costly. They deported them because of theft, which is a crime, which is not accepted anywhere in the world. So how can you tell me that the UAE hates Africans when Africans are putting up such behavior in the UAE? It is Africans who are doing majority of the fraud. It is Africans who are sleeping on the streets. It is Africans who are causing commotions everywhere. Africans are doing gayism here. Africans are doing prostitution here. Africans are doing theft here. Africans are doing all sorts of things here. Why won't you be deported? A company employs you as an African. After employing you, the company sees it as a fact or a responsibility to do your employment visa for you and to give you your residency. After doing your residency for you, you work for 6 months and then you decide to quit and go to another company because you feel that the salary that that company is giving you is not enough for you. So you quit, you cancel the visa, and then you go to another company. Come to think of it, do you think your fellow African brother or sister will be employed into that same company again? Because they've come to realize that you only used that company as a stepping stone to get a better job in the UAE. Do you think your fellow brother or sister who is coming after you, after that your despicable act of cancelling your visa after 6 months, when somebody has gone through hell to employ you, to do your employment visa for you, spend money to take you through medicals, spend money to get you accommodation, spend money to give you free transport to work, spend money to some of the companies even feed their workers, spend money to feed you, spend money to get you your residency ID, and then after all this, after 6 months, you choose to quit the job. Do you think after this despicable act, this evil act, do you think that the UAE or any company in the UAE would want to employ your fellow African who has just entered? No. So where does the hate come in over here? Where does the hate come in over here? My brothers and sisters, let us face fact. Let us face fact. The UAE does not hate Africans. It is the bad attitude that some Africans, not all Africans, some Africans are showing in the UAE that is making the UAE to hate Africans. Thank you for watching me on a Free TV. Subscribe, like, comment and share this video. I'll be very glad. After subscribing, please click on the bell so that in any time I drop any video, you would have access to the video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. We will meet again.